The day Brian was born, the day started off pretty good. We got to the hospital and things went along fine. We ended up having a C-section that day. It was maybe 4 hours later when the doctor came in and broke the news that Brian had Down syndrome and he had also a cleft palate.
Many families come to us in a stage of the grief process. They have had wonderful expectations for their children, and then the world falls apart for them at the hospital during the birth and after the birth, when they've discovered that there's something wrong with their child, something that they totally hadn't expected. Brian and Jean came to us when Brian was about 8 weeks old. And at that time we started in their home and we helped the whole family.
I had a great pediatrician who actually had worked with Little Red Schoolhouse on the board. He was the first one to tell me about Little Red Schoolhouse.
They come in, it's really a wonderful thing when they're referred to Little Red Schoolhouse, and they come in and we can take them through the building and they can see other children that are doing the very things that the people at the hospital told them that their child was never going to be able to do. And those kids have the same diagnosis. And they see them playing with other children, they see them walking around the room, they see them feeding themselves at snack, and they get their hope back.
Little Red Schoolhouse was a wonderful place to be. It was a lifeline for us when we needed help. It was a wonderful place to meet people in the same situations and get information that we desperately needed.
I'm Carla Phillips, and this little fiery redhead is my daughter, Therese, and she's 2.5. And we knew early on, I think, that she had some issues. 6 months ago when we were told cerebral palsy, it was a huge blow. I think I, at least, was just holding my breath, hoping that something would click and she would catch up, even though intellectually I knew differently. And I remember I went home that day and thought, gee, someone has just pierced my heart with a sword and left it there. I don't think it was cerebral palsy, it was, this isn't going to go away. We had a walker ordered for her just about a month or two ago because she does have low muscle tone. So for her, her muscles aren't as ready to move as they would be for you and I, so it's just much more work for her to really contract and use her muscles to support herself. So the walker has enabled her to, first of all, realize that there's an expectation that she be upright. She was very passive and is now, I think, pulling out of that because she is upright and moving and realizing that she can do what the rest of us can do. But it also allows her, it helps her with balance and allows her to walk longer distances. And she's at the point just this last week or two where she's really not using the walker at home or indoors at all.
Well, at Little Red, we concentrate on 4 main areas for the kids to be learning and gain skills in, from their motor skills and being able to move and function around their cognitive development. We want them to be able to figure things out and relate to things. Their social skills are really important, and their speech and language is really serious for them at this age. Helping families learn that these are integrated capacities, that they need to work on all of these things at the same time and be able to develop the skills that they need to go to school and be successful in school is going to make a world of difference for them. They're going to be able to actively participate wherever they go once they've gained the skills in these areas, these really important areas.
And I think being here, she's seen herself make progress and knows the routine, knows that when she comes, she hangs up her backpack and her coat and washes her hands, and now it's time for music, which she loves, and now it's time for arts. And I think all of those things, they're just the building blocks and foundation for really her journey onward. For me as a parent, I felt that this is the perfect place for her because people are sensitive to her needs, her special needs, and she's safe. And not only is she safe, but then she is encouraged to always go to the next step. And for her, she needs a push. I've just been so grateful that she's surrounded by people who know what she can do as well as what she can't do, that they see the value in her, and that they're giving her the tools she'll need to go forward in her life journey.
Brian has accomplished many things since he's been at Little Red Schoolhouse. He's been able to go on to a regular classroom situation. He was always on the baseball team. The whole time that he was in grade school, he was on Pacific Little League. I wanted him to be able to to be social, to fit in with the other kids and to enjoy his life. And that is the one thing, when you see Brian is always happy. That's one of the most important things he's learned, is how to take care of himself. I think when Brian was born, what we didn't realize, that what we thought was the worst thing in our life turned out to be the best thing and one of the most positive things that could ever have happened. Little Red Schoolhouse is probably my most favorite place to go to visit people. I still feel welcome there after all these years. It's been 15 years. When I walk through the door, it's like coming home.
The children at Little Red are so important to us. They're your children and my children. Any of us can have a child with a developmental delay. Any of us can have a child, and probably we all have had children at different times that struggle with things, and they're our future. And it's really important to me, it's important to all of us at Little Red, how they succeed, and that they do succeed, and that they're happy in the end. That's what we want for all of our children.